Good morning. I'm here with your daily horoscope for Saturday, July 25th, 2026. Before we move into your science reading, a quick note on how to use this. Readings today are from your moon sign. The link below finds yours in 10 seconds. Your moon sign is your inner nature, your emotional truth, and in Vedic astrology, it's the anchor for how the transiting planets touch your life. So, if you haven't yet, find your moon sign first, then listen to that segment. Today, we are working from New Delhi, and here's the Panchanga, the sky's rhythm for this day. We are in Shukla Ekadashi, the 11th lunar day of the bright fortnight. This Tithi carries a quality of devotion and inward turning, and it ends at 11:34 this morning. We are also in the Nakshatra Jeshta, the star of seniority and elder wisdom, which holds until 7:34 tomorrow. Saturday is Shani's day, a day that favors steady work and long view thinking. A few timing notes for your day. Rahu Kala, the hour when new ventures meet more friction, runs from 9:02 to 10:45. If you're starting something important, you might choose a window outside that span. Yamaganda, another slower window, is 14:09 to 15:52 this afternoon. Gulika Kala, the early morning hour of heaviness, closes at 7:20. The yoga or stellar alignment is Brahma, which supports creative work and learning, and it lasts until 21:08 tonight. Today is Devshani Ekadashi, a day of gentle spiritual remembrance when many pause to honor rest and renewal. It's a warm thread in the calendar. Now let's turn to your sign and what this Saturday holds for you. Aries, your courage and quick, decisive starts are your native language, and today ask you to trust a different kind of strength, the strength of patience. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of transformation and inner work, and that steady inward focus continues. Your moon is in Scorpio, in house 8, which is a debilitated position, so you are being invited to move slowly, to listen more than you speak, and to let what needs to shift inside you do so without force. This is not a day for big external moves. Instead, work and money benefit from Mercury in your house of communication, your own science house, so any writing, planning, or conversation that clarifies your thinking is well placed. In relationships, Venus in your house of creativity and joy is still there, but Ketu is also in that house, retrograde, so you may feel a pull between wanting connection and needing space. Honor both. Your energy today is supported by Jupiter, exalted in your house of home and foundation, which means that any time you spend grounding yourself, tending to what feels safe and solid, you are building real strength. There is a gentle window called Chandrashtama that applies for you today and ends at 7:34 tomorrow local time. This is simply a natural pause in the lunar cycle, not something to fear, just something to move through with kindness toward yourself. If someone near you is struggling today, even a small act of listening, of being present without trying to fix, is seva in its truest form. The day is yours to shape. Shape it kindly. Taurus, Mars moves through your sign today, bringing directness and courage into your presence. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of partnerships, and now you feel that energy shift inward toward yourself. Your native language is patience and steady building, and today Mars asks you to speak that strength aloud. In work and money, Mercury sits in its own sign in your house of resources, which means your words about value, earnings, and what you need are clear and persuasive right now. Use this window to name what matters to you. In relationships, the moon sits opposite Mars at 2028 this evening. Exact, this is not conflict, it is clarity. You see what you want and what others want, and the honesty between you becomes possible. Listen more than you speak in that moment, and you will understand. For your energy and health, Saturn in Pisces, your period lord, sits in your house of community and wishes. You are building something larger than yourself, slowly and with intention. That steadiness is your gift today. Feed someone who's hungry or help a neighbor carry something heavy. That act of care grounds you in what matters. Walk gently today and let the day come to you. Gemini, Mercury in your own sign is sharpening your mind and giving you clarity in every conversation you have today. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of service and daily rhythm, and now you're moving into a day where your native gift for quick connection becomes your greatest asset. Curiosity and connection are your native language, and Mercury, your ruling planet, is speaking fluently right now. In work and money, the Sun and Jupiter together in your house of resources are supporting steady gains. You're thinking clearly about what you need, and that clarity is worth more than you might realize. Take one practical step today. Write down one financial goal, however small, and name one action toward it. In relationships, Venus is moving through your house of communication, and that means your words carry warmth. The moon is in a quieter place right now, which actually gives you space to listen deeply to someone who matters. When you listen without rushing to reply, you learn something true. Your energy today is steady and purposeful. Saturn, your period lord in Pisces, is holding you in a long view of your path. You're not meant to rush, you're meant to build. One small act of care today. If someone around you is struggling with a decision, sit with them and ask a genuine question. Your gift for connection is also a gift for helping others see clearly. May today bring you one moment worth remembering. Cancer, today you step into a rare alignment of self-presence and possibility. Yesterday, the moon opened your house of creativity and joy. And now the Sun and Jupiter both occupy your first house, illuminating who you truly are. This is your moment to know yourself clearly. In work and money, your period lord Saturn sits in your house of wisdom and long vision, steadying your choices even as Mercury moves quietly through your 12th house. You are naturally drawn to depth and care, and that intuition serves you well right now. Take one small decision today that aligns with what you know to be true about yourself. In relationships, Venus brings warmth to your second house of values and connection. The moon in your fifth house is debilitated, which means your creative fire may feel softer than usual, yet this is not a loss. It is an invitation to listen more than you speak, to receive rather than always give. Someone near you needs that gift of your presence. Your energy today asks for gentleness with yourself. Jupiter exalted in your first house says you are enough, exactly as you are. Feed someone in need today, even in a small way. That act of care returns to you as clarity. Go easy on yourself today. The stars are patient and you can be too. Leo, your natural warmth and leadership are on full display today, and there is a beautiful tension asking you to balance them wisely. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of home and roots, grounding you inward. Now Venus graces your first house, bringing magnetism to how you meet the world. That pull between private reflection and public presence is real, and it serves you. In work and money, Mercury sits in your house of friendships and networks, speaking your language fluently. You are naturally drawn to collaborate and share ideas, and today that instinct is sharp. Reach out to one person whose counsel you trust. A conversation will clarify something you have been turning over. Your period lord, Saturn in Pisces, sits in your eighth house, asking you to think carefully before committing resources, but this is not a stop sign, only a gentle pause to check the details. In relationships, the moon squares Venus exactly at 17:23 this evening. That moment may feel like a small friction between what you want to express and what feels safe to say. Honor both. Your warmth is your gift. It does not need to be dimmed, only aimed with intention. In energy and health, you are steady. Use this day to do one small thing for someone who needs it. Without fanfare, that act of care will settle something in you that no amount of rest alone can touch. Wishing you a calm and steady day ahead. Virgo, today is a day of quiet mental clarity and purposeful work. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of communication, and that thread of brightness continues now as Mercury shines from your career house, occupying its own sign and bringing real clarity to what you do best. You are ruled by Mercury, and precision and quiet service are your native language. Today, that gift is fully alive in your work and how you show up professionally. Your mind is your strongest tool right now. Mercury in Gemini, its own sign, in your 10th house means your thinking is sharp, your words land well, and people listen when you speak about what matters to you. Take one conversation or one piece of work today and give it your full attention. That focus will pay dividends. Your period lord, Saturn in Pisces, sits in your house of partnership and reminds you that steady, honest effort builds trust with others over time. In your relationships, Venus moves through a private house, so this is a good day to tend to what is close and quiet rather than seek the spotlight. Your energy is best spent on one meaningful exchange or one task that feels true to you. As the day settles, you will feel the quiet satisfaction that comes from work done well and words spoken with care. If someone around you needs a listening ear or a steady hand, that small act of presence is exactly what the moment asks for. Let today be simple. That is enough. Libra, today your public standing and career path are in sharp focus. Yesterday brought a blend of public recognition and inner reflection as the moon opened in your house of resources, and now that momentum carries forward into something deeper. The sun transits Cancer in your house 10, the house of profession and reputation, and this means your work and contributions are drawing genuine attention right now. You are ruled by Venus, and balance and graceful fairness are your native language. So use this window to let your professional integrity speak for itself. One practical step: if you have been waiting to share a project or proposal, today favors clarity and visibility. In relationships, Venus transits Leo in your house of friendships and networks, opening doors to meaningful connection and collaboration. This is a good time to reach out to someone whose support matters to you or to strengthen a partnership that has felt distant. Mercury transits Gemini in your house of wisdom and learning, which means your words carry weight and your ideas land well. For your energy and health, Saturn in Pisces sits in your house of daily work and service, asking you to pace yourself steadily through the day. You may feel the weight of responsibility, and that is real, but it is also temporary and manageable. Take one small break to help someone with something practical, even 5 minutes of genuine care, and you will feel the shift. Today settles into a rhythm where your outer world and inner steadiness find their natural balance. May something small go beautifully right for you today. Scorpio, today asks you to trust the quiet strength that lives beneath the surface. Yesterday the moon opened in your house of self, and today it settles more deeply into your own sign, though in a weakened state, which invites you to move with intention rather than force. Depth and quiet resilience are your native language, and this is the day to speak it. In work and money, your period Lord Saturn sits in Pisces, grounding your fifth house of creativity and risk. You are not meant to push hard right now. Instead, let ideas simmer. A practical step: if a decision feels urgent, wait until after the Ekadashi Tithi ends at 11:34 this morning. In relationships, the moon squares Venus at 17:23, which may bring a small tension between what you want and what feels right to express. This is not a conflict to fear, Scorpio, but a moment to choose honesty over ease. Say what matters gently. For your energy and health, the moon trines Saturn at 12:24, offering you a window of real clarity and calm. This is when you can see your path most plainly. Use this hour to sit with yourself, to listen, to remember why you move the way you do. By evening, the moon opposes Mars at 20:28, which may stir restlessness, but you have already gathered what you need. Today settles you into your own knowing. If someone near you is struggling, a small act of listening without trying to fix is the gift you carry today. Carry this lightly and have a truly good day. Sagittarius, today asks you to honor what yesterday began, a day of inward reflection and quiet work behind the scenes. Your moon sits in house 12, debilitated, which means the usual outward fire of your Jupiter ruled nature turns inward now, and that is not weakness, it is wisdom. You are being asked to tend to what lives in shadow, old patterns, hidden fears, the work nobody sees. Optimism and honor seeking are your native language, and today they serve you best when turned toward yourself. In relationships, Mercury in your house 7 keeps communication open even as you withdraw. You can speak truth gently without needing to convince or perform. A conversation that feels small today may carry weight later. At work and in your practical life, Mars in House 6 supports steady effort on tasks that require focus and solitude. This is a good window for detailed work, for organizing what has scattered, for the unglamorous labor that builds foundation. Your energy asks for gentleness with yourself. Rest is not laziness, it is the other half of your seeking. If someone near you needs a listening ear today, offer it without agenda. That quiet act of presence is seva, and it settles something in you too. The day is yours to shape. Shape it kindly. Capricorn, your inner work today carries real weight. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of friendships and wishes with quiet reflection and steady presence, and that same grounded energy holds through today. You are ruled by Saturn, and steady effort and long patience are your native language, so you know how to sit with what unfolds without rushing it. Right now, your period lord Saturn moves through Pisces in your house of communication, which means the thoughts moving through your mind are asking for gentleness and care. In work and money, Mercury in Gemini sits in your house of daily tasks and service, favoring clear thinking and practical problem solving. This is a good window to organize what needs organizing and to speak plainly about what you need. In relationships, the Sun and Jupiter both transit your house of partnership, supporting warmth and honest conversation with those close to you. Take one small step today towards someone you trust. In your energy and health, Venus sits in your house of transformation, asking you to honor what your body and heart are processing right now. Rest when you need to and move gently. Today settles into the same steady presence that opened yesterday, a day for inner work and for tending to what matters most. If you see someone today who could use a meal or a kind word, offer it freely. Walk gently today and let the day come to you. Aquarius, your steady effort yesterday is ripening into quiet recognition today. You are in a phase of patience and steady consolidation. As Saturn completes its passage over your moon sign, and that grounded discipline is now moving into your house of public standing and reputation. The moon itself sits debilitated in your house 10, which means this is not a moment for loud assertion. Instead, your original thinking and quiet conviction work best when you let your work speak first and your voice follow. Saturn in Pisces, your period lord, sits in your house of resources and self worth, asking you to build something real and lasting rather than chase quick wins. In your relationships, Venus in Leo across your 7th house invites warmth and generosity, but the moon's position suggests you lead with listening rather than talking. Your energy today asks for grounded presence. Mercury in Gemini, your own sign, sits in your house of creativity and joy, So, if you need to communicate something important, do it through what you make or create, not through debate. Mars in Taurus in your house, 4 steadies your home and inner foundation. This is the day to tend something close to you, to show up for someone in your household or community with a small, real act of care. That is where your power lives right now. May today bring you one moment worth remembering. Pisces, today you are held in a moment of quiet clarity, even as Saturn moves through your sign. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of philosophy and meaning, and today it meets Saturn in a trine exact at 12:24. This is the peak phase of Saturn's passage through Pisces, a time that calls for patience, steady effort, and trust in what unfolds slowly. Compassion and imaginative depth are your native language, and Saturn is teaching you to ground them in real action. In work and money, Mercury sits in your house of home and foundation in its own sign. You are building something solid beneath the surface, something that will hold. Take one practical step today toward a project that feels like it belongs to you, not to anyone else's timeline. In relationships, Venus moves through your house of service. You show love by being present, by helping, by noticing what others need. That gift is real and it matters. In energy and health, Mars in your house of communication keeps you alert and engaged. You have words and ideas moving through you. Channel them towards something that serves, not just something that speaks. Saturn in your sign is not punishment, Pisces. It is the planet of wisdom asking you to trust your own depth. When you help someone today without counting the cost, you answer that call. You can find your full birth chart free on our website, which shows you every house and every planet in your unique sky. Go easy on yourself today. The stars are patient, and you can be too. The sky moves through all of us, and what you carry from today into tomorrow is yours to shape. Trust the steadiness in your own hands, the wisdom already living in you, and the simple power of showing up with care for those around you. The planets are not your fate, they are a mirror, and what you see in that mirror is an invitation to know yourself more deeply. If today's sky was useful, subscribing keeps it coming every morning.